Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of our Leverage podcast. Today's guest, I really want to hear a lot of information about. He does a lot of business consulting, works a lot on the credit card processors, you name it, right? Everything a business could need is kind of something he can coach and consult on, have solutions for. Super awesome. One of the first guests that I've had, really awesome, I think, sitting out on the beach, enjoying his life while he's working, while he's shooting a podcast. I think it's totally cool. Welcome, my friend, Shaheen Masloom. Tell us a little bit about what you do and how you make money, Shaheen.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. So, we make money by helping people. The more we help someone, the more we make. I started my first business when I was 7 years old. When I first moved to America, I moved to Minnesota, and it snowed 3 foot of snow in one weekend. So I used that as a business opportunity, and I've owned a lot of different businesses ever since over the years. And it's been a lot of fun, but it's also there's ups and downs and things that happen, and I've learned a lot. And so about 9 years ago now, I started Versa Business Systems because I realized that there was just so much bad information out there, and so many companies out there just taking advantage of what business owners don't know. And I wanted to change that. So, yeah, man, I started Versa, and we started with just business funding, and then just kind of expanded from there into different parts of, different areas of business.
Yeah, who's like an avatar for you? What business owner could gain the most out of your services?
I mean, dude, honestly, people ask me that all the time, and we have something for every type of business, whether it's a startup or it's a Fortune 500 company, we've got something that can help pretty much every business out there. But I would say, the average, business that we work with does, maybe a few million a year, and they're just kind of hitting that ceiling. Or they're struggling, but they're not really sure what they're struggling with. Yeah, I mean, we cover the whole map, so everything from startups, like I said, all the way to Fortune 500 companies.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, we're the same thing, like on the virtual assistant side, right? It's like there's not really a lane we don't touch. I mean, there'll be certain things that it requires a level of confidentiality or security protocol or a boots on the ground. So certainly it doesn't fit everything, but I hear what you're saying there. It's like, I can't really say, well, we won't support anything.
Yeah.
So cool, man. What's the biggest thing you guys are focused on growing right now?
Yeah, so right now we're really focused on growing our social media. Getting as much attention as we can, getting to not just have people know us, but know a lot more people, right? So for the last year, we've heavily been focused on our podcast, trying to get on more podcasts. Going to different events. We're just really trying to get big on getting attention and really getting to know as many business owners as we can all over the country. And it's social media makes it so easy now, right? So, really putting out a lot of content, all things business, and it's been great, especially in the last few months since I moved to the beach. Dude, who doesn't like to just see people talking business, sitting on the beach? Every morning at sunrise, I take a walk down the beach and give, business advice for just a minute every morning. I think I'm on day like 75 of Beachfront Reality Check. And yeah, it's been great, man. Had a lot of great conversations, a lot of great clients coming through, just from organic content. So.
Yeah, dude, it's so important to just put yourself out there and just do as much as you can. I'm like one of those guys. It's like I don't overthink it. I don't worry about it. It's the overthinking and trying to expect perfection versus just putting content out there. And the more authentic you are, and the more relatable you are, right?
So, exactly. It's all about being vulnerable, right? Like we're all human. Every single one of us are humans. Like the people you want to do business with, the people that you're, maybe competing with or whatever. Like we're all humans. We're all going through the same stuff. So, being as authentic as possible and really, letting people know you and see you for who you are is, no matter who you are, right? Like there's going to be people that relate to you and like you, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, 100%. I tell people all the time, I was like, you're not trying to target everybody. That's the reality. You're putting
No.
content out there for everybody, but
Yeah.
none of us have everybody that likes us, right? We don't click with
Right.
everybody. So we're looking for
Yep.
that audience that's just like us, right? It's like who are
Yep.
like-minded people and that's where better business is anyways, generally, right? People that are like-minded and
Exactly.
have the same content. So what's one thing that you do today that most people in your industry are not doing?
I mean, dude, honestly, the biggest thing for us is we focus on really helping people. So, especially in the business funding space, it's all about getting them funding for as much money as possible. With us, we ask 20 questions before we even do an application, right? Most business funding companies, they want to get an application, they want to get their bank statements, and that's all they care about. I want to know 20 things before I even decide to do an application because funding may not be your solution, right? Like
Mhm.
a lot of business owners think, oh, if I just had more money, all my problems would be solved. And that's not always the case. So we want to find out as much information as possible and make sure whatever they're coming to us for is going to solve their problem. So, I tell my sales guys every day, like, as long as we're helping them, the money's going to come. Like, don't worry about the money. Don't worry about your commission. Don't worry about none of that. If you help someone, whether we make money on that client or not, like you'll make money at some point, right? Whether it's through a referral or whatever. But I'd say that's the biggest one, man. Like, we don't focus on the money. We focus on helping someone, and the byproduct of helping someone is you end up making money.
100%, dude. I love that you said that. I'm like, it's kind of the Gary Vaynerchuk's methodology, right? It's like jab, 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 punch, right? And the jabs are just, how can I help you? How
Yeah.
can I give you value? Like you building that trust, equity, right? And when you build
Yeah.
that equity, you become. I always admit, I'm like, I can't. I like relationships, right? And if I can build a
Yeah.
relationship, now we'll do things together, and I'll do partnerships. I'll buy your services, but I'm less likely to do. I'm not a one call close guy, right? I'm going to get to know you first.
Exactly. Same.
I'm going to get to
Yeah.
know your business.
100%, man.
And then if so, guess
Yep.
what? I'm bought in. I'm bought
It's
in
just
at
like dating.
100%.
It's just
Yeah.
like dating, man. Like you're not gonna go buy her a house on the first date. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly. What would you say is like the biggest breakthrough that has changed the trajectory of your business?
Man, biggest breakthrough technology, man. I mean, dude, we started implementing AI into the business during COVID.
Mhm.
I really, COVID was nuts, especially for the business funding space, which is what we started with, right?
Yep.
Every funder went out of business. The brokers closed down. I mean, nobody was funding anything. Well, I ended up starting a medical supply company January of 2020. And that's the only reason why we're still here today. So, like, during that, I mean, we were not only selling medical supplies all over the world, but donating them too. So I met some amazing people. Dude, I met Bob Saget. I met Kevin O'Leary, donated a bunch of supplies to them. They did videos for my business. I learned so much about international business, and then met some guys that were just killing it in the AI space already in 2020. And, I'm like, man, I got to figure out this AI thing. And,
Mhm.
we just started doing as much with AI as we possibly could. And, like, looking at like what we thought we knew back then versus like what's going on now. I mean, it's growing at an insane rate, man. I mean, it's
Weekly,
nuts.
weekly.
Yeah. Yeah. Every week there's updates and it's just like, holy crap, I can do this now.
It's so crazy how weekly it's like literally like it couldn't do this last week and it's a
Right.
massive improvement 1 week
Yeah.
later. Like, and
Yeah.
it's
It's
not even an
crazy.
announcement, it's just working within the
Right.
brains
It's
of the
just like it
system.
does it. Right. It's nuts,
That's
man.
so
Nuts.
crazy. Oh man, what's something that you stopped doing that helped you grow faster?
Stopped doing that helped me grow faster. Huh, that's a great question, honestly. I early on I stopped focusing on what people thought. You know what I mean? Like the naysayers. I mean, dude, even my own parents. We're always, well, shouldn't maybe you should get a job. Get a salary. Mom, I've owned a business and been 1099 since I was 7 years old. What are you talking about? I've had a bad month, right? Like, so just not listening to those naysayers that just don't get it. Like God bless my dad. He would have been a hell of an entrepreneur,
Mhm.
but he had kids at a young age, and he had a college degree and could get a good job for a great company. And, he always worked for somebody. He never, he couldn't take that risk. But I mean, I'll be 40 in a couple of years. I still don't have kids, So I got the luxury of being able to take those risks really young. And I just had to learn to not listen to the naysayers, because unless they're paying my bills, I mean, what they got to say really don't matter.
Yeah, absolutely. What advice would you give somebody that's trying to think about becoming an entrepreneur and there's just a lot of noise and a lot of white noise going on out there?
You got to really, I will tell you this, it's one of the hardest things you'll ever do in your life. So make sure that you're prepared, to do that. I mean, really, like if I knew what it was going to take when I was 7 years old, I would have never started a business. I'll be completely honest with you, right? Like it is one of the hardest things that you will ever do. I'd have been like, you know what? I might just get a degree and like be a lawyer or something. You know what I mean? No, but like seriously though, I mean, really, you've got to be able to put in a lot of work if you want to do it. Great, right? If you just want to make some money and get by, just to be able to work for yourself, that's great. I know people like that, and that's no problem. You just don't want to work for somebody, no problem. But really know what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to get to, and just make sure that you're willing to do whatever it takes to get you there.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that comes down to, friendly advice, right? People that have been there, done that, right? People that you trust. Like, what did it take to get there? I don't think enough people do enough research or enough conversations with people when they take something on, even if it's buying a software. There's not enough conversations going on. I would rather find somebody that's one level up from me and I go, hey, I know you're using this software. Is it worth it? It's something as simple
100%.
Right?
Well, I mean, the one thing that businesses early on, I noticed, that you'll see before they've even started getting customers, they're like, hey, who can do my logo? Who can do my website? Who can do my, whatever, right? But like, you haven't got a customer yet. Like, how do you even know that you can get a customer, right? Focus on getting customers first. Like, you don't need to worry about your logo. Your logo don't mean jack if nobody's ever going to do business with you.
That's exactly.
It cracks me up, man.
That's so spot on. Why I'm laughing, because every business, and especially like in the affiliate marketing space, which is what I kind of do over here at the Virtual Assistant Company, is everybody's like, I need my logo, I need to white label it, I need my website. I'm like, bro, go talk to your friends and family first, and then find out what business owners need assistance. Send them my way. Let's get you profitable first, then let's go build those things out. Right? It's so funny you say that, man. Everybody wants to be a builder, and what I usually find is they build, and then they build themselves out of business because they never lead generated 100%.
Yeah, dude, it's like, dude, that stuff is so expensive to build out. You build all this stuff, and then damn, maybe there's not a bunch of people that want this.
Exactly. Go find out who wants the service and the product first.
Yeah, make sure you get enough customers first.
That's funny. What's a lesson that you've had to learn the hard way?
Oh man, my mother would say, "Why do I?" She asks me this all the time. Why do you have to learn every lesson? They say we learn lessons the hard way, but man, I've learned everything, dude. Like when I started this business, I thought I knew a lot about businesses, man. I thought I knew a lot about building businesses. Because like I said, dude, my first business, I was 7 years old, right? But a 7-year-old's business versus, now it's a bit different, right?
Right.
But I'm like, I was always a believer that I could sell my way out of everything. And I learned pretty quickly, like, sales is very important. As long as you can get sales, like you can survive, but you can't scale that way, right? So, really learning what, like you said earlier, talking to people first and really making sure before signing up with a marketing company or a lead generation company, like don't just take their word for it and the reviews you see on Google, like do a deep dive with the people that you're about to do business with, no matter what it is, whether it's marketing, whether it's SEO, whatever, because man, I can tell you I've made a couple of decisions that almost put me under. Had I done a little bit more research, I wouldn't have had to learn those hard lessons.
Yeah. And I look at that a lot too, not only on that scale, but also with partnerships, right? A lot of people want to become like even business partners, not so much business to
Yeah.
business, but within a single entity business. And I always try to tell people it's always on the high emotion, energy, positivity side when you first start there, but you better make sure you know who you're giving part of your company to or who you're sharing your company with.
Yes.
Because it's all
Oh,
good
100%,
until it
man.
fractures just a little bit,
I
and then
tell
it's
I tell you
messy.
what, the yeah, the people that I have seen lose their company
Mhm.
altogether and not be able to do a damn thing about it, uh, more people than you would think. I mean, dude, I can think of six right now, and I'm sure there's probably a lot more than that. We're talking some pretty large companies. So
Yeah.
I always said, I would never take on partners unless there was a very clear buyout clause. I had a
Mhm.
partner when I first started. I bought them out 6 months in business. It's super, super important. You read every line of every contract,
Yeah.
but also contracts are just a paperweight, man.
Sure.
If you don't have the money to pay for the lawyers to enforce that contract doesn't mean anything.
Oh, yep, exactly.
It doesn't mean
100%.
anything. You partner up with a billionaire and your business takes off, they take it from you. They have $1 billion. You don't have a pot to piss in. Guess what? You can't do nothing about it. I'm sorry, but you're screwed.
Absolutely. Oh, it's so crazy how that money works, but also just even court systems don't always honor what's in the terms and the conditions of a
No,
contract either. Just because you think you got
no,
it in writing, I've seen it where
yep,
it's like, that's cool. That's not how that works in the
yeah,
state. You can't put that
yeah,
clause in there.
yep,
Null and void.
exactly, man. Yep,
Oh
it's
man.
crazy.
What's something entrepreneurs are consistently underestimating in your opinion?
Underestimating, man, the power of one, the power of AI. I think it's still crazy to me the amount of business owners that I talk to that like they're like, yeah, I use AI. Oh, okay, what do you use it? Oh, I use ChatGPT to create my posts. Okay, you post once a week. Like, what do you mean? They're underestimating AI. They're underestimating social media. Man, if I told you some of the things that I've been able to pull off, thank God to social media, you wouldn't even
Mhm.
believe it. Honestly, I'm in the United States because of social media. I
That's
would be
awesome.
living in England if it wasn't for social media. I mean, there's so many things that having a network all over the world. I've
Mhm.
got some of the greatest friends I have. I've never even met face to face.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, social media is so damn powerful, and AI is just it's so much easier than what it seems,
Mhm.
and it's so much more powerful than even the ones that are using it even understand. I mean, it's more powerful than it's crazy. I'm learning new things every day, every week, and it blows my mind constantly.
It's like that brain of like that's the way I try it. I mean, simply put, I try to explain to my elderly parents. I'm like, they're like, "What is this AI?" I'm like, dude, it's almost like asking God times 100, right?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
a
exactly.
really,
Like it's hard to
really
explain.
exactly. Uh, what's one piece of leverage advice you'd give someone trying to scale to the next level?
So I would say, know your numbers. Know your
Mhm.
numbers. If you don't know your numbers, if I asked you right now what your profit was
Mhm.
last year and what are you pacing this year and you don't know, you are not ready to scale.
Nope.
Period.
Yep.
You have got to know your numbers before anything because you may not even be profitable. There's probably 30 to 40% of companies out there that think they're profitable and they're not.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary. So number one, know your numbers, right? Know what's working, what's not working. That would be my biggest advice because you may find out that you're not exactly ready to scale,
Yep.
right? You may have to figure out some things before you scale. But yeah, most important before you start dumping a bunch of money, getting funding, or even scaling things, is making sure you know all your metrics.
Yeah, that's so important, man, because I work with a lot of like smaller solopreneurs, right? They're not C corps or anything like that,
Yeah,
corporate structure. So I tell them, I'm like, one of the most important things you got to do is understand a profit and loss. I know that sounds so basic and so rudimentary, But if you don't
Yeah.
understand your numbers, you can't build a base to build on from there. Because now if you're
Correct.
trying to calculate CAC, if you're trying to calculate CPC, like none of that matters unless you understand the
Right.
fundamentals of a P&L.
But
And
also,
so many businesses.
understanding what those things are,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I
Like,
mean. Yeah,
you can ask somebody what their metrics are. They're like, "What do you
yeah.
mean? Like my revenue, my profit?" Like,
Right.
some business owners don't even know the difference between net and gross, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah,
goodness,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's okay, right? Like your guy that's great at building roofs, he's
Right.
great at building roofs,
Right.
right? He
Right. Right. Right.
didn't go to a 4-year business school, right? Like I didn't
Sure.
get my master's in business, right?
Right.
But you got to learn this stuff, and it's so easy to get the information. YouTube, books. I mean, there's so
Yeah.
much free information out there now. You can get all that information and really learn it and really be able to build something great for you and your family. But you got to know your metrics. You got to know them.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And I used to tell them all the time because the common thing I'd have is I'm not a numbers person. I'm like, then you're not a business person because you better
Right.
figure out how to be a numbers person. And it's
Yeah.
not like you were
Yeah.
blessed to know numbers or not blessed to know numbers. And the
Yeah.
numbers people had to study to know the numbers.
Exactly.
All right, I want to hit you on a lightning
Exactly.
round, my friend. These are just super quick ones, and then we'll wrap it up. What's your favorite business book?
Favorite business book, I would say People Follow You by Jeb Blount. When I first started managing sales teams, it changed my life, man. Like I was young. I was 20, 21 when I started managing sales teams. So most of the guys were 30, 40, 50, and I was having to hire constantly because the way I talked to them, the way I, would belittle them, and I never realized it until I read that book. Like, man, why are people constantly quitting on me? Like they're making a ton of money and then they're quitting. I'm like, I don't get it. And I really learned a lot about how to properly manage people and get people to follow you.
Yeah.
You got to be a really good person. You got to really know how to communicate with people and learn that everybody's different, right? Like not every sales guy is motivated by money, right? Not every sales guy is trying to drive a Lambo, right?
Yep.
Like that stuff doesn't appeal to everybody,
Mhm.
So really getting to know people. But yeah, Jeb Blount, a killer book. People follow you. Everybody should read it in business for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at that because I know Jeb Blount for sure, the author. I just hadn't picked up that book, so that's another reason I
Yeah,
love doing
it's
these shows. I
awesome,
picked
man.
up a couple great
Yeah.
books that just even today that are just like, damn, that's a good one, man. If I were to open up your phone, random one here, what app would you have used the most on a daily basis?
I would say either Claude or ChatGPT for sure.
Cool.
Uh,
What is your most impactful habit?
Most impactful habit. Um, Probably content creation. I create at least 3 new pieces of content every single day. Completely, real and authentic, and I don't plan them out, and I just do it. And it's probably made the biggest impact, especially here in the last year for sure.
Dude, it stacks over time, right? It's everything
Yep.
else. It's consistency over time, and most people just
Yep.
can never
Consistency
hit the
does it all.
consistency, right? If you, as a business consultant, could track one KPI, just one magic wand, what would that KPI be?
Um, with a magic wand, I mean, like, there's a lot that we are tracking. I would say if I could track truly where people decided, okay, I know this guy now. Here's where I know I can do business with him, right?
Yeah,
Because like they could be following you for a long time, and you don't know where they first came in at sometimes, or you don't know what piece
sure.
of content really did it for them. You know what I mean? Like I would love to know that. I don't know. I'm sure one day we'll be able to figure that out, but unless we're connected with people's brains, probably
Yeah.
not.
Very good. Well, the last question I have for you is what is your definition of leverage? How do you define leverage in your dictionary head?
So leverage is, it's funny. A lot of people use leverage in a negative sense, like having leverage on somebody.
Yeah.
But leverage is like, to me, it's more of a cause and effect, right? Like, for example, if you know someone's pain point, you have the leverage you need to be able to provide them with a solution, right?
Yep.
Now, some people would say you have the leverage you need to take advantage of them, but like, yeah, sure, you could go that way, but that's what leverage means to me, man. It's just being able to, have the information that you need in order to be able to help.
Yep. I love that. Well, that's all the questions I got. Shaheen, do you have how people could reach out to you, connect with you? What's the best way to do that?
Absolutely, man. Through any, I'm on everything, and I'm posting on everything every day, from YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram, but I'm the only Shaheen Masloom on Facebook in America. So that's easy to find.
That's awesome.
Versa Business Systems. Yeah, there's a couple Shaheen Maslooms in like Egypt and Iraq,
Yeah.
and but I'm the only one in America that I know of.
I love it. All right. Well, and I always tell my guests too, you always know I'm a connector. I have everybody's information. I got a Rolodex of all of our guests. So reach out to me. Obviously, sometimes people hit me up within weeks. Sometimes it's 6 months. Sometimes it's even 2 years. And somebody's like, caught that episode. So love to stay connected with you, brother, man. Great episode.
Man.
Really appreciate it. Any closing thoughts you got, my friend? If not, we'll close this episode up.
I would just say, at the end of the day, we live in a information, time period. Information is everywhere, right? Why you do these podcasts, why I do my podcast. Mm-hmm. The information you're looking for and the answers that you're looking for are out there. You just got to be willing to go and find them and really learn that information. You can learn anything you want to learn right now within 90 days. Right. Wow. If you're a young person and you're still living at home, take 90 days to learn everything you can about AI for 10 hours a day for 90 days, and you will be a millionaire inside of 6 months.
I love that. I love that. That is so, so true. All right. Well, thank you everybody for attending today's episode. I look forward to releasing this out to everybody and getting Shaheen's word out there and his business. And man, brought the energy, brother. I really appreciate that.
I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.